You started in Philly, didn't you, Mike?
I started in Philly at the Laugh House. Dom, I saw you when you were coming through the early 2000s. I bought a ticket. I came and watched you live. It was really something, man. I've really been a big fan for a long time. Growing up, I'm Italian on both sides, and we loved you.
All right, now, first of all, thank you, but how can I give you like bust your chops or when you're that nice to me? Yeah, so thanks.
Did you broke? So you broke in at the laugh. Who was in your class?
Yeah, I was at the Laugh House.
Who was the class of comedians that you came up with in Philly?
The class of comedians I came up with was DeRosa. Joe DeRosa was like around the time. Big J, Kurt, and Kevin Hart all had just left. So it was me and DeRosa were the next groups to come out like to New York.
Kevin Hart. Who is that kid? Kevin, can I borrow a commercial?
What year was that you really started? And I guess that would have been.
I started in 2000. I mean, I took a class with. I took a class in the suburbs, but then when I started going to open mics every Wednesday at the Laugh House, and then if you did good, they put you on a Thursday, which is a different crowd, and then you could work your way up to hosting. It's like any club, I guess. You host at the weekends, and then once you started featuring. The advice I got was you got to move to New York. You know, you can't, otherwise it's like, because at the time, you're 3-4 years in or something, then there's more time to grow. But if you stay in Philly you could get, you could be 10 years in. And then when you go to New York, no one cares that you're 10 years in.
Story of my career.
What career?
Exactly. Do you think, Mike? Do you think that changed in a way? Like we were just talking.
Oh, it's all changed now.
Before Dom came on, you were saying you got to like build your own brand, following wherever.
Yeah, Steve was saying, I'm going to break into the New York clubs, and that's all important and stuff. It's important, It's not that it's not important. It's just that this podcast is probably the best thing you're doing. It's like more. Getting a fan base, it's almost reverse engineering it. I think coming up, you used to have to work and then get better and then get a fan base. Now it's like get a fan base first and then figure it out along the way.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, getting a fan base is a huge thing because you could just do whatever you want. I mean, we care. I care about my act. I care about the skill set. But, I mean, you can get a fan base and then still work on it.
Mm-hmm. All right, take it easy.
Did you self-produce a lot of your stuff? Like, and do you still self-produce a lot of stuff, like like phone videos and things like that?
I mean, this is all new. When I came up, it was still live. At Premium Blend had ended. It was live at Gotham. There were stepping stones. Comedy Central gave you stepping stones to the half hour. I did a live at Gotham, which is 8 minutes. They give you a half hour, which is 22 minutes. Then your next benchmark was an hour. They'd give you these benchmarks to climb, but then that kind of went all out the window. And, now it's really all turned around. So
you did a lot of late night spots, right? How many late night spots have you done?
I did 6. I've done 6 Tonight shows, 1 with Leno and 3 with Carson. I'm just kidding. I did one with Leno, could have been nicer, and then I've done the other 5 with Fallon. I did one Conan also.
Dom, did you ever
Last Comic Standing a couple times also? Like any NBC time, I was like, yeah, I'll compete. I don't care, whatever, however it shakes out. But do you want to do Last Comic Standing? Some guys were like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to humiliate myself. I'm like, no, I'll compete, man. Let's whatever. I want NBC based time on NBC.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Dom, did you ever work with Jimmy Fallon, Dom?
Yeah, I did his show, but he was like an opening act for friends of mine. He had a guitar and everything. He wasn't a great kid. And look at him now, huh? God bless him. Do you think he laughs like over laugh? I think, and I like Jimmy, but I think there's one point in the laugh that he's just pushing. He starts that banging himself.
But Dom, I actually think I'm that funny. So
you are.
No, he's not over laughing. I'm good.
Yeah. You know what I like about you? You're so relaxed on those big dead spots, whatever. I know you're waiting for a laugh, but no, I'm not. You're my guest. Great work.
But Dom, I lived in Philly. I lived in Philly for 8 years. I'm not from there, but I lived there and I started comedy there. But I also was a teacher, so I taught in the
cool.
city. I taught in Northeast Philly, and
Where the white people live.
home of the whites, and the Northeast, the working class whites, the Irish and the Polish, because God knows you guys wouldn't have them in South Philly.
No, definitely not in South Philly. No,
Not South Philly, you wouldn't have them. And so I also got my master's from Cabrini College, which I understand is not there anymore. So that's comforting.
What'd you get a master's? What was your
Special education.
You were talking about Cabrini. I didn't know that school wasn't there anymore. Did they
I think it got
change
taken
names?
over by somebody else. It got bought by somebody, or it got merged. So I don't even know if my degree is valid anymore. So this better work out. That's why I'm on the road.
When did you stop teaching? Did you go right from teaching to doing comedy full time, or when did that happen?
When I moved to New York, my degree. I have a dual certification, so I started working with little kids, 3 to 5 year olds, with tantrum and stuff. So I worked with them part time till 5, 6 years until I could get on the road a little bit more and pay. And I kept my overhead low for
right.
I'm talking years and years and years, roommates for years and years.
Mm-hmm.
So
any mentors in Philly? Like any comics that really took you under their wing that come to mind?
In Philly,
like Philly, New York.
In Philly.
Philly, yeah.
In New York, I don't know. There was a good group of guys in New York. Big J was one of the guys who brought me around to the clubs. Dave Attell, late nights at the Comedy Cellar. He's unreal. He was very kind.
He's as good as they get.
I mean, he's really, really solid. And he did a couple of shows, brought me into them. Dave's Old Porn, Comedy Cellar, Comedy Central had a show. Dave's Underground. He brought me into those shows to write and perform on them. So, yeah, I would say that.
Don't you think he's as good as it gets? Then it's just a matter of taste.
I mean, for me, for my money, for me, he's the guy.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm a big fan. I like what's the Globe with travel. Remember the joke about he's ready to travel because parents used to beat him with a globe.
The Globe, yeah.
I love that. Let's do some other really good some people.